Hey guys, welcome to the Light Blink channel. So today I'm going to be hackintoshing this HP Pavilion X360 laptop from 2017. So it has a Kaby Lake i5-7200U and 8GB of RAM. So if you want to know if I get it working or not, just watch till the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flash the Olarila vanilla image to this USB, and then I'll just see if it works, and if that doesn't work, then we'll just see what we can do. Alright, so I just flashed the Olarila Big Sur vanilla image, but now it's not just going to boot. We need an EFI folder. So what I've done is I've gone to the Olarila website and downloaded it, and here I have Mini Tool Partition Wizard. What I'm going to do here is we're going to go change letter, and then we're going to give it, we'll just say like E for EFI. And then we wait a little bit and apply it. The reason we need to do this is because just so we're actually able to access the EFI folder within our file explorer. Though unfortunately it doesn't let us, so I think what we need to do is we actually need to download Explorer++. Right, so I've downloaded Explorer++ and run it as administrator, so now I can actually access the EFI folder, finally. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, copy this, or I can go into here instead, downloads, EFI. We're going to go ahead and copy this, then we're going to go back, EFI, delete this. Okay, let's just go ahead and copy this here, paste, and we just wait. It shouldn't take too long. Alright, it's done. So now what we do is restart and just pray that it starts. Alright, now I'm going to open the boot menu. And we're going to go F9 and opencore. Just hope it starts. So unfortunately when I boot from it, it just simply opens up Windows for some reason. It just isn't bootable. So I think I'm going to have to do some digging to find a different EFI folder. Alright, so I just remembered that I actually had an EFI folder saved in my Google Drive. So I downloaded it and just hope it works. I don't know why, but I don't think it's working right now. So while we wait, I'll just go ahead and delete this EFI folder. So here it is. Now remember I had some like texts in here as well. Alright, let's go ahead and paste it here. Alright, it's done. Now let's reboot again. Alright, I'm here at the boot menu once again. We have opencore and USB hard drive. Let's open this. Just hope it works. Yeah, exact same problem. I think I might have to reflash the USB. Alright, so I'm back on Windows, and I was having some trouble with that last USB, so I decided I'm just going to make a completely new one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this opencore guide and opencore simplify, so this I can make a completely new EFI folder without actually having to write it. So let's follow this. We'll go make the install on Windows, and then we want to download macOS, so opencore package. And then I'll download the latest version. Extract all. And now let's also download opencore simplify. Zip. So we'll run this first just to know what's the latest version of macOS we can install, since Big Sur has been kind of problematic. So let's opencore simplify. Run. Python 3 was not found. Alright, we'll install Python. Alright, so we downloaded Python. Let's go and select hardware report. Export hardware report. Let's wait for this to finish. So it's essentially just using hardware sniffer. So it can actually give us a hardware report and make us a good EFI folder. Because the last one was being problematic. Right, so it says here that the Kaby Lake i5-7200U supports macOS Tahoe, and pretty much all of them except for continuity support and airdrop. I don't really want to install the latest version just because the latest version is probably just going to be kind of slow. So, and I did have to reinstall Windows, so I don't think I'm going to be adding Arch this time. We're just going to be dual booting Windows and macOS because I didn't make the partition 1 GB. It was 100 megabytes, so it won't fit the Grub bootloader. Alright, here. For best compatibility, we use macOS Ventura. So let's go ahead and use Ventura 22. We'll use Airport. let's go select macos version. We'll just do that. Okay, we just did the same thing again. I don't need to do any of these. I don't need to customize this, so we'll just go build opencore. We'll just go for the default here. Alright, so it's done. USB mapping. I'm not gonna worry too much about this. Agree. Alright, so here's the EFI we have. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this to the desktop. Alright, so we're done with this. Now what we need to do is we need to run opencore package so that we can do the Mac recovery stuff. So this, and then let's go here. Since I want to do Ventura, we're gonna do this. So copy this, go here, not this, and then here, CMD. And then we paste this. Oh yeah, I forgot to download Python. Alright, I'll do that. Alright, so what I've done is I've actually just formatted the USB and everything, and then here I have my two folders, the one from opencore package, the base system stuff, and the actual EFI folder here. So now the next thing we need to do is we actually need to go in and download gib macOS, so this can make like the actual installer. So we're just gonna go here, download it, zip, because well, we have the EFI folder, we don't actually have the installer. And you could just do this with a Mac as if you were just like doing this for a normal Mac, but since I'm not on a Mac, we have to use this third-party application. So here, we're gonna go gib macOS, run, and then it's just gonna wait. Alright, and then we're just gonna pick Ventura, and then I'll get to you guys when this is done. Alright, so that finished, and I actually moved all of the files here into the macOS folder, the partition, which is exFAT. This took a really long time, like probably 3 or 4 hours just to get this here, because the USB I'm using is like quite slow, and this is like 11 gigabytes. So yeah, that took a really long time. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start it and just pray to God that it works and we don't get the exact same error. Alright, let's go ahead and restart. Spam F9, the boot menu. Alright, USB hard drive. Okay. Oh, I think we're gonna have the exact same problem here. We'll see. Maybe it'll start the install. Okay, never mind. So it just starts Windows right away. So it turns out the problem wasn't actually with the installer or the EFI folder. It's with the laptop. Alright, so to test this out, I've gone on my main PC, and I'm gonna actually boot into the same USB. I already know the installer isn't gonna work, but I'm gonna see if the boot menu actually shows up. So we could just go ahead and do this. Set disk, and well, would you look at that? It works perfectly here. So it seems like the problem with the laptop. I'm kind of confused because I've run Hackintosh on this exact laptop before, and I haven't had these problems, so I don't know what's going on. Right, so I'm back here, and I've done a little bit of research, and I saw that some people recommend that I should just go into the config.plist file and actually change the bootloader mode from external to built-in. So I'll just type external, find next. Alright, there it is, big mode. We're gonna go built-in. Alright, now we're gonna test this out one more time. We're booting up into the boot menu again. And let's go ahead and pick the USB. Moment of truth. Yeah, that didn't do anything. Kind of at a roadblock here. Alright, I rebooted into Windows and I'm back into config plist. I changed it back to external since putting built-in didn't seem to do anything. And when I tested it on my laptop, it was in fact the TUI version, but that didn't do anything. So that doesn't seem to actually be the problem. So I've been searching this up for a really long time. I just couldn't find any solutions. But I have found this one solution, and this is pretty much my last hope. So it was something along the lines of console GLP, console GOP. Here it is, provide console GOP. And then it's saying that I should turn this off because some computers just struggle with this. I find this kind of like contradictory, considering that this like kind of provides the graphics to make the bootloader work, but we're just gonna do this, and I'm just hoping that this works. Because if it doesn't, then there's pretty much nothing we can do. Right. The third time, booting into the boot menu. Right, this is it. Oh my god, it worked. Finally. I think I see what the problem was here. Essentially, it wasn't loading the bootloader, but it was still there. It was just like hidden or invisible, so it automatically booted into Windows. But I think if I used the arrow keys while it was black, I could have still booted into the installer. So, alright, here, EFI DMG. Oh my god, we finally made it to the installer. This is monumental. Go next. And unfortunately, even if we do get it installed, we're gonna have to go through like the trouble of getting like kexts working and all that stuff. I think I have some like the Wi-Fi kex in my old EFI folder, so I'm hoping that works. Disk 0 S3. Is it this one? Capacity available. I don't really want to format my Windows one. I did make a new partition, or I didn't actually make a partition in Windows. I think I just had like, alright, wait, let's just see. Disk 0 S3, 150 gigabytes. Yeah, wait, this is my Windows one. I probably shouldn't erase this. Alright, I'm just gonna go back into Windows and I'm just gonna create an NTFS partition and then I'll come back. Alright, so I'm back in the installer. I made a new partition named it Hackintosh HT. To go ahead and erase it, I'll pick APFS and we'll name this Hackintosh HD, but without capitals. There, as if it was Macintosh HD, but Hackintosh. Alright, we're taking it right here. Done. Now we can create this utility. It says reinstall, interestingly, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Continue. Internet connection. Well, that might be a bit of a problem. Alright, so I found this bash script, which is like apparently supposed to allow you to run it without Wi-Fi. It's called unplugged, and I added the files to the USB. So now what it says we need to do is we need to open the terminal. So terminal, and here it is. Oh. Can I make this bigger? Can't. Alright. We'll go list volumes / volumes. And we're gonna want to go into macOS. So we're gonna go cd / volumes. I think I might want to turn on the backlight. Oh, there we go. cd / volumes / macOS. Okay, there we go. And now, so unplug command. Just supposed to do /. Oh, there we go. Do you wish to continue? Seems to be a problem. Yeah, sure, why not? Fully expand, but no worries. Choose the locators covered. We'll go. I'm not sure. Choose the locator you discover. I think we'll do number 2. Let's just hope this works. Select the approach you'd like to use. Select the volume where you're installing macOS. Hackintosh HD. The copy. Symlink. Faster, use less space, not as reliable. May not work with all, especially older. Well, this isn't too old. I think we could try one. And if that fails, we'll just do number 2. Copy macOS on temp. Symlink. Caffeinate and launch install. Yes, we will continue. Alright, now we wait. Oh, there we go. Did that do anything? Oh, alright. That actually worked. Alright, we'll do Hackintosh HD. Alright, now we wait. Alright, so we finally made it to the setup, which is really nice. That did take a really long time. as you can see from the time lapse. So we're just gonna go ahead and set this up. So for language, we'll go ahead and pick English. Or we'll just go like France. Why would it be France? Oh yeah, I forgot natural swirling is the thing. Alright, I'll just pick something random, like new, just go like, come on. Arabic, yeah, sure, it doesn't matter. Alright, so here we are. I skipped the Wi-Fi part just for privacy reasons. We'll just do continue. No migration. Set up later. Skip. We'll agree to these because we have no other choice pretty much. Add full enable, name himself Hackintosh. And then let's put photos, and then I'll put suggestions. Let's see what we have here. Dude, natural scrolling is not natural. I'll put this one, I like this one. Password, can I just not put a password? Oh, alright, we'll just do that. No hints. Alright, that took a long time, but no location services. I mean, it's already slow enough. I don't want more bloat. Time zone, share out. No, we won't share analytics. Set up later. No Siri. No one uses Siri. Light or dark? Wow, that is slow. Okay, now it's finally getting to macos. Oh yeah, that's not good. Razer device. It's a mouse. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's really quite slow. MacBook Pro. Oh, there we go. The wallpaper finally loading. We do seem to have like hardware graphics acceleration or something, 3D acceleration, because of like the, you know, these kind of translucency effects. If you don't have that, it would just be like a solid color. So here we go. Intel HD graphics 620, 8 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. 2.71 gigahertz dual core Intel Core i5. That is correct. Alright. So the first thing I want to do is I want to just dock magnification. Like I need that. Here, wait, how do we do this? It's like dock. Where can I? Oh, here it is. Desktop and dock. Magnification max. That's nice. So yeah, there we go. That is Hackintosh. So now I want to test if Windows still works, obviously, but also we actually need to install the EFI folder from the USB into the actual EFI partition here, so that we don't need to use the USB every time. There's now an opencore configurator to mount our EFI folder or partition. Yes. Okay, so Wi-Fi is just working out of the box. I think that's due to simplify opencore, which, you know, gave us the option for airport Wi-Fi or whatever you call it. So yeah, I think that was the biggest problem, because I think if I had just done that console GOP option off from before, I think the other EFI folders would have actually worked, like, without any problems. Oh. It's really annoying. You need to go to settings every time you want to open an app. Yes, just open it. It's not that big of a deal. Right, here it is. You have an old version opencore bootloader. Yeah, no problem. Alright, EFI. Alright, so I just figured out that this mount EFI was actually for the internal SSD, and not actually the USB, but because the internal SSD is also a SanDisk. So here I have it mounted, not this one. It's called No Name. We go here. We have all of this stuff. So I think what I need to do is I need to take this boot and OC from here and move them here. So what we need to do is we need to take these and actually, why is there a Microsoft folder? That's interesting. But we delete this. Let's just hope my Windows doesn't break. We'll just move to trash. And then we move both of these. Alright, there we go. And now let's just hope it works. Well, that's gonna be a problem, isn't it? It just boots straight to Windows. Windows does start, but it just boots straight to Windows. I don't know. Let's go back into macOS so we can see what we can do. Alright, so we're back here. Let's just quit this. And let's mount this once again. Give it the password. And let's see. So we do have the boot in the opencore, but we have this Microsoft folder. I'm not going to delete this, but I think what we need to do is we actually need to select opencore as the main option in the BIOS. So I'll try that one more time. And no, that didn't seem to work. The only option here is boot manager, but I think we can boot from the EFI file here. So system EFI, just probably boot from this. Yeah, that works. So I'm gonna need to make that into a boot entry somehow. So unfortunately I couldn't really figure out a solution. So for now I think my solution is just to have the USB in and have it as the top priority. Then when I turn it on, it'll just boot from there and I can just remove it. Or I could actually manually boot from the EFI folder every time, which is kind of a hassle. And I think there are apps for Windows that could add an EFI file as a boot entry, but I'll just do that another time, I think. So I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I might make a tutorial on how to do this, like generally for most computers next. So if you want to see that, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.